Imagine waking up to a world where law and order are just old tales. Suddenly, your once safe neighborhood feels menacing, and the familiar streets echo with uncertainty. In this new reality, the first critical step to survival is to assess your situation. Look around. What do you see? Your home, your neighborhood, the city or town you're in. They're all factors that could either aid your survival or pose a threat to it. It's essential to analyze your current location for potential risks and available resources. Is your house sturdy enough to withstand potential threats? Are there sources of food and water nearby, or is your location a hotbed for potential conflict? Think about the people around you. Can you trust your neighbors, or are they more likely to pose a threat in a lawless world? Your safety may depend on the actions of those around you, so it's crucial to gauge their intentions and capabilities. And then there's the question of whether to stay put or evacuate. This decision could be the difference between life and death. Staying put may provide the comfort of familiarity, but it could also make you a sitting duck. Evacuating, on the other hand, offers the chance to find a safer location, but it also comes with its own set of dangers. Remember, sometimes, the decision to stay put or evacuate can be the difference between life and death. So take your time, assess your situation carefully, and make the decision that gives you the best chance of survival in a lawless world. If your home can be your fortress, it's time to make it one. Transforming your living space into a stronghold is about more than just barricading the doors and windows. It's about creating a space where you feel secure, while also blending into your surroundings. Let's start with the doors, the main entry points. Reinforce them with deadbolt locks and security doors if possible. Your goal is to make it as difficult as possible for anyone to gain unauthorized access. Windows, another vulnerable point, can be fortified with security film or bars. Remember, the goal isn't to make your home look like a prison, but rather to discourage anyone who might think about trying to break in. Next, consider creating a safe room. This is a space where you and your loved ones can retreat in case of a breach. It should be a room with few windows and a robust, lockable door. Stock it with essential supplies, food, water, medical kits, and communication devices. Now let's talk about maintaining a low profile. The less attention you draw, the better. This means keeping noise levels down and lights low. Blackout curtains can help prevent light leakage that might signal your presence. And don't forget about the exterior of your home. A well-maintained property can deter unwanted attention. Consider defensive landscaping, like thorny bushes under windows or gravel paths that make stealthy approaches difficult. Lastly, don't overlook the importance of escape routes. Always have a plan B. Identify multiple exit points from your home and practice using them. Your home, your fortress. Remember, a low profile can be your best defense. In the face of chaos, your home can be more than just a shelter. It can be your sanctuary, your command center, your beacon of hope. And the more fortified it is, the better your chances of not just surviving but living in a lawless world. Sometimes the best defense is to retreat. Yes, it's a hard decision to make, especially when you've fortified your home, made it your castle. But there are situations where staying becomes more dangerous than leaving. So, how do you know when it's time to pack up and leave? Let's delve into the signs that signal it's time to evacuate. First, consider the safety of your location. If your area is seeing an increase in violence or is becoming a hotbed for conflict, it's time to think about moving out. Remember, your home is your castle only as long as it protects you. Second, scarcity of resources. If your water supply is dwindling, food is becoming scarce, or if fuel for heating or cooking is running out, it's time to consider your options. Survival is about more than just having a roof over your head. Third, the health and well-being of your group. If someone in your party is sick and needs medical attention that you cannot provide, or if your group's morale is plummeting, it's time to consider relocation. Now that you've decided it's time to leave, what next? You need a bug-out bag. But this is not your average camping backpack. It's a lifeline, a portable survival kit that should contain everything you need to survive for at least 72 hours. What should you pack? The basics include food, water, and shelter. Think high-calorie energy bars, water purification tablets, a compact tent, or a sleeping bag. Add in a first aid kit, multi-purpose tools, a flashlight, a portable charger, and don't forget your personal documents. Remember, your bug-out bag should be light enough to carry without slowing you down, yet comprehensive enough to sustain you. It's about striking a balance between what's absolutely necessary and what's feasible to carry. In survival, there's no room for sentimentality. Leave behind what you can't carry, or what won't aid in your survival. It's about making tough decisions, prioritizing your needs over your wants. Know when to hold your ground and when to find new one. Because in a lawless world, survival isn't about standing still. It's about adapting, about knowing when to fight and when to flee. A new refuge is a new beginning. And in a world without law and order, the right refuge could mean the difference between life and death. But how do you choose the perfect hideaway when every choice seems fraught with danger? Let's start by identifying secure locations. Think of places that offer natural protection and resources. A cave nestled in a hillside, for instance, provides shelter, camouflage, and potentially a source of fresh water nearby. An abandoned farmhouse, on the other hand, might offer ready-made living quarters but could also attract unwanted attention. Now, speaking of attention, it's crucial to use natural landscapes for protection. Dense woods, steep hills, and winding rivers can all serve as natural barriers against those who might wish to harm you. They can hide your presence, slow down pursuers, and even provide food and water. So, when choosing your refuge, consider how the surrounding landscape can work in your favor. But while some landscapes offer protection, others present hazards of their own. You'll want to avoid areas prone to natural disasters. That picturesque cabin by the river could get swept away in a flash flood, and that cozy cave, it could be in a landslide zone. Even areas with harsh climates, such as deserts and tundras, can make survival a daily struggle. Remember, in a lawless world, conflict is inevitable, so avoid areas where conflict is likely to occur. Major cities, strategic resources, and even certain roads and highways can become hotbeds of violence as people fight for control. And finally, keep in mind that your refuge is more than just a place to hide. It's a place to live. So look for locations where you can potentially grow food, collect water, and maybe even establish a small community. In a world gone mad, a refuge is not just about survival, it's about rebuilding. Choose wisely, your life depends on it. In the wilderness, you are both the hunter and the hunted. The world of nature can be a harsh and unforgiving place, but with the right knowledge and skills, it's also a place where you can thrive. Let's talk about how to navigate the wilderness in a way that keeps you safe, hidden, and always on the move. Moving silently is an art. It's not just about being quiet, it's about being invisible. Think of yourself as a shadow, blending in with your surroundings. Use the cover of trees and bushes to mask your movements. Step lightly, avoiding dry leaves or twigs that could give away your position. Remember, in the wilderness, sound carries. Even the smallest noise can echo for miles. Now, let's talk about avoiding tracks. The last thing you want is to leave a trail for others to follow. Always step on hard surfaces like rocks or logs whenever possible. Avoid walking on soft ground or snow, which can easily hold footprints. And always be mindful of natural signs you might disturb, like broken branches or disturbed wildlife. Using the terrain to your advantage is also essential. High ground gives you a vantage point to spot potential danger. Dense forests provide cover and resources. Rivers and streams not only offer a source of water but also a natural path to follow. Setting up temporary camps is an art of its own. Choose a spot that's hidden and defensible, somewhere you can see without being seen. Clear the area of any signs of your presence once you're ready to move on. Remember, the less trace you leave, the safer you'll be. But remember, the wilderness is not your enemy. It's a resource, a shelter, and a guide. Learn its ways, respect its rules, and it can become a powerful ally. Master the wilderness and it becomes less wild. Survival is not about strength, but about skills. The right knowledge can make a world of difference when you're facing the harsh realities of a lawless world. Let's delve into some essential survival skills every beginner must master. Water is life. In a survival situation, finding a source of clean water is your first priority. If you're unable to find a fresh water source, you can purify questionable water by boiling it for at least 10 minutes. It's a simple yet life-saving skill. Food is essential too. Learn how to identify edible plants and insects. Even if the thought of eating a bug makes your skin crawl, remember, survival isn't about comfort. It's about living to see another day. Another vital survival skill is fire making. Fire provides heat, light, and a way to cook food. There are multiple ways to start a fire, but one of the most reliable methods is using a fire starter or flint and steel. Practice this skill to ensure you can do it under any conditions. Shelter is also necessary. If you're on the move, learning how to build a temporary shelter could mean the difference between a restful night and exposure to the elements. Using natural materials around you like branches and leaves can help create a protective barrier. In a world without hospitals, knowing basic first aid is crucial. Learn how to clean and bandage wounds, recognizing signs of infection, and how to perform CPR. These skills can be the difference between life and death when medical help is not an option. Lastly, navigation. In a world without GPS, knowing how to read a map and compass is vital. Understanding how to navigate by the stars can also be a useful skill when you're on the move at night. By mastering these survival basics, you're giving yourself the best chance of thriving in a chaotic world. Survival isn't just about making it through the night. It's about thriving in the face of adversity. Never underestimate the power of knowledge in a survival situation. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Now let's delve into the importance of community and convoys in the chaotic world of survival. In a lawless world, isolation can be a death sentence. Forming alliances with others can offer mutual protection and shared resources. It's about finding the balance between contributing to the group and ensuring you have enough for your own survival. Choosing whom to ally with is a crucial decision. It's not just about numbers but skills, trustworthiness, and a shared vision for survival. Remember, a small, well-coordinated group can often be more effective than a large, disorganized crowd. Managing group dynamics under stress can be challenging. Conflicts can arise over resources, decision-making, and differences in survival philosophies. It's essential to establish a clear line of communication and decision-making process early on. Convoys or moving groups can be an effective strategy when transitioning from one location to another. They provide protection in numbers and shared responsibility for scouting and guarding duties. However, they also require coordination and discipline to maintain stealth and speed. In the end, remember this: survival is not a solitary pursuit. It's about forming bonds, working together, and leveraging collective strength to face the challenges of a lawless world. Survival is a team sport. No matter how tough you are, you can't fight the world alone. Form alliances, manage your group dynamics, and remember, we're stronger together. Survival is not just living through the night, it's about planning for the future. When the dust settles, you'll need to shift your focus from immediate survival to long-term strategies. This is where sustainable living practices come into play. Consider the food supply. In a lawless world, grocery stores are a thing of the past. You'll need to learn how to grow your own food, starting with easy-to-cultivate crops and gradually expanding your garden. Water is another crucial aspect. Rainwater collection systems can provide a continuous source of clean water, and knowing how to purify water is a must. Energy sources are equally vital. Harnessing renewable energy such as solar or wind power can give you access to electricity long after the grid goes down. Prepare to play the long game. Remember, survival is about building a future in the face of chaos.